Hey everyone, Callie here. So I happen to be in the Dallas area today. I either working at home or I'm working in the office. I'm not going to go into why unless you follow me on one of my social accounts and you'll know why I'm here. But I happened to get out earlier, and so I'm in Dallas, Texas right now, downtown. And one of the things that Dallas, Texas is very unfortunately known for is that the President John F. Kennedy was shot in the streets here when he came to visit Dallas, Texas. And I have been in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for since the late 90s. And even though I've been to the downtown area and I've visited this area before, I've never actually visited the memorial, which is really sad, being a Dallas resident as long as I have been. Fort Worth for part of the time, Dallas for another part of the time. So I am here at the JFK Memorial, and I want you guys to share it with me. All two of you. But anyways, check this out and check this journey with me. And by the way, just so you know, I might start bawling because things like this make me a little bit emotional. So come join the journey with me. The joy and excitement of John Fitzgerald Kennedy's life belonged to all men, so did the pain and sorrow of his death. When he died on November 22nd, 1963, shock and agony touched human conscience throughout the world. In Dallas, Texas, was a special sorrow. The young president died in Dallas. The death bullets were fired 200 yards west of this site. This memorial, designed by Philip Johnson, was erected by the people of Dallas. Thousands of citizens contributed support, money, and effort. It is not a memorial to the pain and sorrow of death, but stands as a permanent tribute to the joy and excitement of one man's life. John Fitzgerald Kennedy's life. And so this is the memorial that they're speaking of, which is interesting. I wish the architect was here, somebody who was involved in the design, because I honestly actually don't get it. But I don't know if you can see, but and there's some family members having a good time there, but John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So I'll just kind of swing it around. I'll let you see the sights of where I'm at. So it's a nice, quaint little area. Quaint. Not sure quaint's the right word, but it's a beautiful. I mean, you have to admit that's a pretty building. I'll probably go check it out. Anyways, you got this nice little sign here that has a little map of the district. So if you're like me and you're not completely sure where everything is, that's where you can go for information. And this is not the only one I've seen, by the way. There's plenty of these around, so there's not just one. Okay, so a little detour stop on the way. And by the way, I apologize for the background sound and especially the wind. This is evidently a log cabin that was built before 1850. Now, I'm going to walk up to the sign. I am not going to read all this. But, okay, pause and read. Go ahead, I'll wait. All right, so you're back. So anyways, if you didn't pause, the main thing you need to know is that this was built before 1850, and then it was moved around, but it wasn't built here. It was built in another location, and it's been moved around ever since then. But it's basically a memorial to the pioneers and the people that built Dallas County as it is today. And for those of you who are history buffs, now, I am not a history buff, so before you go asking me if I'm a history expert, I am not. I did a podcast for about 4.5-5 years, but I was the sidekick. But as a result, I have gained an interest in history that I really didn't have before. And so now when I see historical things, I'm like, ooh, gotta check that out. But I do have a question. So, and the sign over there says that this has been rebuilt. So those of you who know more about history than I do, did they have cement in the 1850s? Because I'm curious to know if this is what it looked like in the 1850s or if this is part of the rebuilding process. Anyways, so, and unfortunately it's locked. I can't go in. It's really a travesty because I'm curious. I don't want to go in and take a look. I don't know what's in there. Yeah, it's all locked up, which is good. All right, moving right along. Can you see it? Can you, tell the camera, this, yeah, I'm clueless about like I think. This is the building that we're actually going to go to. And this is the building where we're going to go to get the tickets. Okay, Okay, so I just went in and bought tickets, and I have really bad news that I'm actually kind of sad about because I started this blog thinking it was going to be this real interesting history thing, at least when I got to the history part. Sorry for boring y'all before. And after all that, come to find out there's no photography or videoing or any kind in there. I will ask and make sure, but just in case, again, this is the building, and it's on, where am I at? It's on the corner of Elm and Houston Street. So if you happen to be in the Dallas area, there's also a Holocaust museum near here. I don't know if I'm going to have time or the money to check that out today. By the way, it was 16 bucks for me. I forgot to check to see what it is for kids. But if you decide to come down here, it's $16. And I am going to stop recording now, and after the tour is over, I'm sorry I won't have any pictures for you, but I'll at least be able to let you know whether it was worth it or not. I've heard good things about it. So, see you later. Okay, so I lied. I'm back. So right here is another viewpoint. I'm on the other side of the old Red Museum, that red building we were looking at earlier. And a little factoid here, evidently Dallas was the first place, I think in Texas, I don't know if it's Texas or US, I apologize, but Dallas was the first place in either the state or the country to allow women to serve on the jury, which is really kind of cool. Unfortunately, it was in the 1950s. So as one person put it, yes, women were allowed to choose the president of the free world in, I think, the 1920s, but yet couldn't decide on a parking violation until the 1950s. But here it is. So, and I think that was the courthouse at the time. And just some other really pretty things to view. I'm not really showing the water below it because it's not clean right now and the fountains are not going. So it's not that great a view, but this is a little bit more to honoring JFK and some other things. Dealey Plaza, birthplace of Dallas. Within this small park was built the first home, which also served as the first courthouse and post office, the first store, oh, I don't know if y'all can hear me, the first store and the first fraternal lodge, dedicated to the pioneers of civic progress by order of the park board. There you go. Okay, once again, I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm going to go ahead, pause it. Just ignore me, man. I'm vlogging. Go ahead, pause the video and read that. I'll wait. Alright. It's not the quietest of areas, but this is downtown Dallas for you, and it's about lunchtime. So therefore the reason why there's not a whole lot of traffic. Yeah, one thing you'll notice about Dallas, we do have a downtown, but it is, if you've ever been to New York or Chicago, it's not a whole lot. It's like, it's New York light. We have taxis, we actually have a subway, believe it or not, and we have a trolley even. Who knew? Or a trolley wannabe anyways. And you're hearing the train over there. So we have big city stuff, but in a really smaller scale. So, anyways, good times. Okay, I'm gonna have to speak really quietly. I'm inside. No one's told me to turn off the camera yet. I'm not actually on the tour yet, but just a few things to see. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm inside the door, they're walking us around. And as it turns out, there's another blogger here, so I'm not gonna feel nearly as much like a dork. There'll be two of us. Okay, so wrap up. I just left the 6th Street Museum, or excuse me, the 6th floor museum. 6th Street is Austin. And emotional, informative. If you come, I do strongly recommend it. They have like a little audio cassette you can put over your ears. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film any of it because they don't allow photography. But they do have earphones and like a thingy, and that thing is hard to use. As you know, I'm a techie, and I had a hard time with it. It was very confusing. You see me turning my hand. I had to shake it a couple of times to get it to wake up. It's very, very well worth the $16 if you're an adult. I later found out I think it's $12 for kids, $14 if you're a senior. Be prepared to spend about at least 2 hours, and even then there's this, you go up the stairs and onto the 7th floor, and there's another exhibit up there, so which I just kind of, I'm gonna have to pay money and come back and do that another time, and I feel really bad because I rushed through kind of like the last little bit of it, but I gotta head home, and I wish I could have stayed longer, but it's really well worth the time. Bring tissues if you're prone to crying. But just so you know, it touches on his presidency, it touches on the controversy, and it also touches on the investigation at the end, and even talks a little bit about Lee Harvey Oswald. And it even brings up this conspiracy, like there's signs on the wall talking about the conspiracy. And so it was really informative, and I will probably be coming back, but on a Saturday when I don't have to get home for something, when I can actually read the whole thing and be able to be a little free to spend more time. Anyways, I am going to stop rambling now and say bye-bye to everyone. Y'all take care. God bless y'all. And if you find your way to Dallas, send me a live stream. Let me know you're in the area. And hey, maybe we can do something. Go hang out together and film it. Y'all have a great time. Bye-bye.